Welcome to Straight Out of Avernus, a Baldur's Gate 3 podcast. I'm joined today with Andrew. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I've not really been busy. Been fine.
Yeah, I'm your other host. I'm Drew. And I don't know why we're bothering with this, because I mean, the game's not even out.
No,
it's not scheduled. It's not scheduled to come out for another month, isn't it?
well,
End of the month.
End of August. Yeah, that's when it was. That's what the original release was going to be.
Wait, Andrew.
Yes.
I've just checked. I've just looked. I think I've made a grave error. Andrew, I'm sorry. They did something unprecedented in the gaming industry.
Have they cancelled it?
No, worse.
Worse.
They brought it forward.
You're kidding.
We could have been playing it for a whole week.
We could have been.
Oh, just kidding.
And we have been.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
We've been playing the shit out of this game.
Oh my god. Been playing so much. Been playing so much.
How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm very good. I am satisfied.
I am tired.
Yeah, I've had a lot of late nights.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. I would say much to my wife's dismay, but she's been playing it as well.
That's cool. My wife's taken it very well, actually. She's called herself a Baldur's Gate widow, but she seems to be taking it. She seems to be weathering the storm quite well for now.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
But the game's out.
The game's out. It's out. It's here. We've been playing it. A lot of other people have been playing it. I say a lot of.
I think everyone's been playing it.
Yeah. Do you want some stats?
Yes, stat me.
We have some stats. At its peak, Baldur's Gate 3 has had 814,466 players.
Ah, man,
Which
they really. That's a shame.
it's a lot. Is what that is. It's a lot. Which it was at the time it is second behind Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
A free game.
A free game. Yeah, it is second behind a free game, and then the next along that is like Dota 2. It's beating Apex Legends, PUBG. Like, Fortnite's not even on that top 10 anymore.
I mean, you got if you're gonna dethrone the best.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's impressive. That is really
That's a big
impressive
win
for an RPG. That's amazing.
I think I heard somewhere that it is like the 8th most played game on Steam
Like of all time.
of all time. I think I could be wrong. Fact check me. I mean, I think initially I would have thought that it wouldn't have had as broad an appeal as it seems to have had.
I think the marketing,
the
marketing in the lead up to the release was really good.
Yeah, but I think also I think it's been word of mouth mostly.
Yeah.
I think it's just been the complete goodwill and the build up that Larian's been able to generate as a community, I guess.
Yeah. Can we consider ourselves part of that word of mouth?
Yeah.
Because we're content creators, right, Drew?
Now I guess we're kind of getting into that, aren't we? I think that nearly everybody. I have not seen many people talking smack about Baldur's Gate.
No, I've seen a few, but I think it's either like trolls or maybe people that just, I don't know, are more at home playing Goat Simulator.
I've played Goat Simulator. It's great. No, yeah, because I mean, I know that it's not got the same numbers of like Hogwarts Legacy,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, you can understand why Hogwarts Legacy would have a bigger appeal.
Yeah.
And then also things like it didn't do as well. It's not done as well as Elden Ring.
Right.
Even though Elden Ring's a very specific kind of game.
Yeah.
You can imagine a lot more people buying that game. But Baldur's Gate's an isometric RPG almost, and who plays them anymore? Apparently 800,000 people.
Yeah, 814,000 people, wherever it was. Yeah, exactly. That's a lot. It's really good.
And I really think it's just because Larian have just been able to foster this great like, hey, we actually are putting a lot of effort into this, and we actually want to make the game that we want to play. And I think a lot of people have fed off of that, and it's just been a great success for gaming on a whole. I've been hearing a lot of people saying content complete when they're referring to Baldur's Gate,
Okay.
and it blows my mind that how many games are probably released unfinished,
Yeah.
and how people are just willing to just like, oh well,
Yeah. And obviously,
I'll
it's
wait
been
for the
through.
patch.
Yeah, and it's been through delays because of COVID, naturally.
Mhm. Sure.
But then, yeah, the bringing it forward a month, that shows confidence in your game as well. 'Cause
Sure.
normally,
And
that last month or two is like, for developers, is like crunch time.
crunch, crunch, crunch.
Where
Yep, yep,
I
yep.
believe you've got some people at other studios working like 8-hour weeks to get a game out. And I think I heard Sven say the average overtime for their employees in the last few months before release was 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, if this is true, I mean,
If
he's a
that's
game
true.
developer.
Yeah.
Can anything he be said be taken 100% literally? Because I mean, his game he released isn't even finished. Oh wait,
Yes,
it is.
It is.
It's doing really well
It's doing
on the
really
reviews
well.
as well. I
Yeah.
think it's like 90, 97 scoring on Metacritic, and then a user rating of 9.1, which is great.
Yeah, my YouTube and my TikTok algorithm is just Baldur's Gate at the moment.
I would say I'm saturated, but I need more.
Yeah,
I'm having to hide spoilers. Actually, I'm having to stay off because I just don't want to spoil
Yeah.
anything.
Like,
and
there's
I've had things spoiled.
like there's the Baldur's Gate 3 subreddit. I've left it. I've left. I'm not joining it until I've finished the game.
Yeah.
I really should probably mute my Twitter, my YouTube, because yeah, spoilers are everywhere. If you want to avoid spoilers, you can listen to this to a certain extent.
I mean,
Because,
we'll tell you when spoilers are coming in,
yeah,
but I mean,
but we're going to try and remain
Yeah.
mainly spoiler free up to when we start playing together and exploring it and
Yeah.
talking about our experiences together.
yeah. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I've only been able to play, let's say, about like every 2 hours every other night. Like I've not been able to put a huge amount of time into this yet, so I'm still working slowly through early access content, just finished, you know.
I'm going to very quickly load up the game and I'll tell you how much hours I've got in my save file. Cloud conflict. Your local Baldur's Gate 3 save data conflicts with what's stored in the Steam cloud.
Uh-oh, I had that problem.
Oh no.
Say goodbye to your fave.
Oh no. Whichever save data you choose to keep will be synced to this device in the cloud. Cloud save modified
fuck.
yesterday 11:12. Local save modified today at 11:08. I was playing today, so I'm going to choose that one.
Uh-oh. Oh my god. He's going to have to start on the Nautiloid again. He's back
I'm not
aboard
doing
the
it.
spaceship. I've only been able to play 2 hours here or there every other day, so I'm slowly working through the early access content just in its completed form,
Yes.
and I'm having a blast. I'm having such a great time.
Oh, and absolutely. So I have finished Act 1, where I am.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So early access stuff, completed it, mate. And I think what they said about there being more is definitely true.
Yeah.
You've
Definitely.
probably experienced that already yourself.
Yep.
I think you get to a certain point in the early access with your character interactions with your companions, where you can't progress more. But I think with Shadowheart specifically, I progressed quite a bit.
Yeah, me too. I was noticing that things were happening at different times than they would at early access.
Yeah.
It was a lot more it felt more fluid. Like you felt like things could change on the fly at any time.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this. I think I'll come back to this when we talk about our
Yeah, no,
experiences, because I had quite an interesting anecdote. But
Do you want some more stats?
hey, yeah, I want to hear. There's apparently so they've released some stats of the game.
Yep. So they released some
Go on, hit me.
weekend of release stats. So this is from basically the 3rd of August, of Thursday, till I would imagine the Sunday, so 3rd to the 6th. In that time, 368 people out of the 815,000 finished it.
What a bunch of losers.
I wish I could have that amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, well, part of me does. I mean, I'd love to just been able to dedicate, but I mean, come on, I think I'd get sores
Yeah.
sitting in my computer chair for that long. That's some dedication to I'm picturing the South Park episode with the
Yes,
guy
the
playing World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft one. Excellent episode.
That's who I'm picturing in my head right now.
I'm not a massive South Park fan, but I love that episode.
Well, you fucking should be, mate. Yeah, I definitely think that's a lot of content creators and people that are in a rush to get through, so they have things to kind of present. Because,
things to talk about, things to give their followers or subscribers.
Because I don't know. Because where I am, I don't know how I can rush through this game.
No, that's the thing. I think they have rushed. They've completed that in that amount of time. They would have rushed through it just on, especially in the early access. If you played it before, you know what to do, and you can probably finish the early access pretty quickly if you want to.
Speedrun strats.
I think the record for speedrun is 6 minutes. In
Yikes!
The early access.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, 368 players finished the game. Over 93% of players have rolled a custom character, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think even Larian themselves said that'd probably be the best course of action for a new player. And that's what I did.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to play an origin character later down the road, but I imagine it'll take maybe a few playthroughs before I do that.
Yep.
So some character creation stats then. Moving on from that, players have spent a combined 88 years in character creation, and nearly 10% of players spent at least an hour in character creation.
Nuts! Like I zipped through character creation, but I think because I knew what I wanted.
Same. I knew what I wanted.
But one of the complaints I have seen of people complaining is that I don't get to. Larian don't trust me enough to make my own character, to really change the nose sliders.
Yeah, this isn't that kind of game. It's not The Sims.
No.
Like, I think there are Sims elements to it where you can see the hair options and stuff like that. But if you want to have a slider on your nose or your jaw, go play Sims. This isn't that.
I mean, but I just don't know how that could be such a complaint. I've got a better game. I've got a game to play. I don't have time to dick around in character creation for over an hour.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I think because I knew what I wanted, I basically zipped through it. I think I spent the longest just choosing exactly how to customize the Dragonborn with the different spiky bits you get.
Well, they did have a lot of really
and it's brand new
options,
as well.
I can see that. Oh yeah. The new I think before the game came out, I tested my character in early access, so I kind of knew more or less where I was going. I just kind of had to make some final decisions on what they changed, but other than that, I nipped through that.
And then, of course, you get to customize your Guardian. What did you make them?
Oh yeah, I made them a proper drow, full-on drow.
Mine's a half drow.
Ah,
yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I've had a couple of interactions with her as well. Have you met her yet?
Yep, a few times.
Yeah. So we'll save that for later on, but yeah.
Oh yes, definitely.
So more stats.
More stats.
This one did surprise me.
Me too.
The origin character selection. So of the 7% of people who chose an origin character, most people went for Gale.
I am surprised.
I'm very surprised. I don't think I would have put him last, but I definitely wouldn't have put him first. I think Astarion or Shadowheart I thought would have come out on top there.
I think you're right. That's where I kind of would have set my expectations. But old Gale's done quite well
He's
for himself.
Done very well. Funnily enough, though, Gale is also the 7th leading cause of death for players.
such a great stat.
I know.
I think that new players that don't understand friendly fire.
Yes. Oh, I'm just gonna cast Fireball right here because my friends are next to all these enemies. Oh no, I killed all my friends. I think that's hilarious. But Gale also has some mechanics behind him that if he dies when you're next to him, it can hurt you.
Yes, that's right.
So maybe a bit of a spoiler for that. But if Gale does die, get away from his body.
But yeah, that's a curious one. But I think the kind of back end of that kind of breakdown makes sense. Lizelle.
Yeah, Lizelle and Will being last. Although Will is actually, we'll come on to this as well, but very interesting.
Yeah, he's changed a lot. I've been enjoying Will.
I've been enjoying Will a lot. All right, so class choices.
I mean, another non-brainer.
Another non-brainer with, well, I'd say with first place. Second place surprises me.
Actually, yeah, you're right. I
So
think.
first place is the Paladin, which I think is no surprise.
Head and shoulders above the rest, I think.
It's fantastic. It is, actually, yeah. Last place is Cleric, which does surprise me.
Yeah, weird one.
However, if you've played enough of the early access, which I imagine most people have, and you know that Shadowheart is there and available,
Yes.
and she never leaves my side, and you don't need two
yeah.
clerics, so yeah. But second place
makes 100% sense.
Second place is Sorcerer, which surprises me, and it's my personal favorite. And obviously, I chose it,
Mm-hmm.
but it surprises me.
It's a good top end there. You got Paladin, Sorcerer, Warlock, Rogue, Bard, Barbarian.
Yeah,
And I think that's all good stuff.
I would actually say I'm quite surprised that Monk is third last, considering it's brand new to players, because the early access wasn't in it.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife's been playing a Monk, and I must say they are very good.
I'll come around to that. I've got another 11 classes to play.
Yeah, I'll go when we play together. I'm gonna go Monk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, race choices. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Your top three
makes sense.
pretty much all level with each other, more or less. Half elf, human, elf.
And the right at the bottom there, poor Githyanki and
Githyanki.
the halfling and gnome.
Yeah, all the small races.
Right.
Githyanki, well, not a small race, but Githyanki. Then you get small races: halfling, gnome, dwarf.
Because they look like weird frogs,
Yeah.
stretched frogs.
Dragonborn is fourth, so very popular new race. Half orc is not doing very well. Only 100,000 people chose half orc.
I think I'll be playing a half orc when we play together.
I was going to play half orc when we play together.
Oh my god!
We can do the same.
We're so in sync.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Almost 100,000 players have been rejected by Astarion when it comes to romance.
How do you get rejected by Astarion? My wife
got rejected.
He's so blue.
My wife got rejected by Astarion. It got to that bit after the Goblin Camp when you're doing the party, and he's a bit drunk, and gives some sort of innuendo, and you can ask him what he means, and he's like sex, my dear. And then when I played it, he came on to me, and I rejected him.
Yeah, I think I've already rejected Astarion.
And then
I've said I think we should be friends, mate.
Yeah, I think I did that as well because I had my eyes on Shadowheart. But then when my wife played it, he was like, "Sex, my dear, but not with you."
He's so horny.
Yeah.
Gotta watch him.
So 815,000 players at peak, which amounts to one NPC was shoved into a chasm for every concurrent player during that peak time on Sunday.
I mean, I've done it.
Oh, I've done it a few times.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah. Of all player deaths, 12% were caused by friendly fire. So most of that was Gale, by the sounds of it.
I mean, to peek into our home games, we've got a player.
We do.
He is not aware of friendly fire either.
He's aware. He's aware. He just doesn't care. It happens. It's fine. It's not like he's casting fireball on us.
Not yet.
But every now and again, he does do a bit of a blunder.
He doesn't know about fireball yet. He's
a bard, so he doesn't get it. Thankfully. And then we get onto this kind of good versus evil, if you want to frame it that way. If you want to go black and white, you've got the whole grove section with the goblins. And you can choose to save the grove and help the grove, or assault the grove. 65.1% of people have chosen to save the grove.
Yeah, I think that tracks.
Yeah, I think you really need to be playing a very evil playthrough to even think about wanting to attack them, because the goblins are just very obviously evil.
They're just little dickheads.
Yeah. So I think you have to play a very power-hungry, evil roleplay to want to attack them. But of course, attacking them has its benefits. You get some good rewards, and you can make a good friend out of Minthara.
I did something this time with the Grove that I had never done before, which is take down the kind of new leader. I took down Kaga.
Oh yeah.
I kind of went out of my way to do that kind of little quest to kind of remove her from the top, which I'd never done before.
Yeah.
Which is kind of you could kill her, but I managed to kind of convince her to kind of not be bad.
Yeah, I've done that in the early access. I didn't do it this time, but yeah, because she's affiliated. Spoilers. With the Shadow Druids, and her whole thing is to make that Druid Grove the first circle of Shadow Druids. So yeah, you can discover that and you can confront her, or you can do what I did and you can free Halsin and then tell him about it, and he just chastises her for it. He doesn't kick her out.
No,
but he puts her back to like rank 1. Like, yeah,
you've been demoted.
Beginner Druid. So yeah, you get a pet dog.
Yeah.
Called Scratch. Scratch the dog.
Yeah. Scratch that dog.
He has been petted over 750,000 times.
Of course he has.
Of course, he's such a good boy.
Do you know that if you play fetch with him,
yeah,
you can summon him as a familiar?
Yeah, I've got that. It doesn't tell you; it just shows up on your hotbar.
Yeah, I missed it and then found it earlier. Yeah, I was like, ooh, how long has that been there for?
I would recommend not taking him anywhere dangerous. I don't know what happens if he dies yet, but I've not chanced it.
I think I need to test that.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna do a quick save, kill him, and then see what happens.
So I'd recommend maybe kill everything in a certain area, summon him because he can find things for you. He can find loot. He sniffs out loot and like points towards it.
Just next time they do one of these like breakdowns of stats, if it says one player has killed Scratch, it's me.
Players have spoken to 1,400,000 corpses.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's an ability I always kind of forget I have.
Yeah.
But it's because you very early on you can get an amulet that lets you speak with dead, which is so useful. Because if you come across a bunch of dead people, you can speak to someone, find out what's happened. You also, if you have the Disguise Self spell, or if you have the early access and you have access to the loot in your camp that you get as like DLC, you have this helmet that lets you pretty much cast Disguise Self at will.
It's pretty good.
If you use that, you can then speak to people you killed because they'll speak to you.
I kind of got into a little bit of I've had to kind of F5 it because I kind of locked myself out of talking to a lot of people that I'd killed.
Yeah.
And then I kind of figured out how to get around it, so I've had to kind of go back and replay a wee bit.
Because if you cast Speak with Dead on somebody, you cannot cast it on them again. So,
yes, that's interesting.
So if you cast it on, for example, Minthara after you killed her,
even if it's a miscast,
yes,
like I did.
Yeah. So if you cast it, so if you kill Minthara, cast Speak with Dead on her to find out some information, she will not speak to you because you killed her. But if you cast Disguise Self on yourself, become someone else, she will speak to you. She also won't speak to members of your party because she considers them having killed her as well.
People that killed you. Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Players have also spoken to over 2,400,000 animals. I don't know about you, Drew, but I drink a potion of animal speaking at the beginning of every day.
I have spoken to a few. I know there's a few that are good to speak to. So I have spoken to them.
There is.
But I don't just go and speak to every fucking animal.
Oh.
I haven't got time. It just made me that statistic just made me think I am not speaking to enough corpses.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely not. Because 1.5 million. That's a lot.
That's a lot. People think of this. People have spoken to more dead people than they have petted a dog.
Yeah. Almost twice as much. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
With the animals, I always try and get the ingredients to either brew potions of animal speaking, or I hoard them. And if I remember to, I'll drink one at the beginning of the day. If not, I'll drink one when I come upon an animal.
Good plan. Good tricks and tips.
Final stat for you. Players have played at least 10 million hours, which is over 1,225 years.
Jings.
Yep, we played 1,000. That's just opening weekend. We played 1,000 years.
That's nuts.
That
is nuts.
Oof.
That is crazy.
Those are some good stats.
I love that. I hope they keep doing that. I hope they keep releasing. I mean, for one, it just gives us fucking content. But,
Give us something to
two,
talk about.
but two, it is really cool. It's so cool to see that so many people are responding and playing and having fun and enjoying that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
So
moving on.
So moving on. So how's your time playing the game been?
My time playing the game has been very good. I just had a quick look there. I've played for 32 hours, which in any other game, if I've got my PS5 out or whatever, and I've played 32 hours, I've probably completed it.
Oh, totally.
Uh,
That's a story mode
Yeah.
of most AAA games. Yeah, totally.
yeah, that's like, Marvel Spider-Man, completed it. Easy.
Last of Us 2, it's in the bin. The God of War, I've already traded it in for more game.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could buy games, physical copies of games, complete them in that amount of time, easily, and then trade them back in, sell them, whatever. Like I said, I've only just finished Act 1, and that's taken me 32 hours to do so.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you've achieved everything you wanted to achieve?
No, I've missed some things.
Yeah. This is kind of my dilemma now.
Yeah. I did as much as I could. I even went down to the forge in the Underdark. And it's kind of it's expressed to you by Halcyon that you can either go through the Underdark or to the Mountain Pass. And I was like, I'll do both.
Yeah, I think that's a part of me really wants to get on with it and get on to something new, but also I am a bit I'm not a completionist, but I just kind of want I want to experience everything. I want to see everywhere. I want to go and I want to find all the treasure. I want to find all the locations. I just want to get in and have a feel around. So I think I think I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'm curious about how far if you go forward, can you come back and do those quests, or are they scrapped off?
Yeah, I think some quests will be time dependent, but I did experience one thing which I think is quite funny, and it's a minor spoiler for Act 2.
Okay.
You get to a certain part in Act 2 where you meet this guy who asks you if you have a specific item because you need it to call forth somebody as like a guide. And I'm like, what is this item? I've never heard of this item. Like, am I just expected to have this? How have I missed it? And so I asked him about it. He was like, oh yeah, Minthara carries it on her. And she would, if she sent you, she would have given it to you. I'm like, oh my god. So I had to go back to the goblin camp, find her body, and take the lyre off of her. You're gonna need that later on.
Disaster. I had a little disaster as well. When I finally downloaded the game and my wife gave me a couple hours to go and play, I started playing, got to a certain point, got off the Nautiloid, started exploring, and then I tried to save the game. Could not save the game.
Yeah, I think it was a common bug.
Yeah, I think it was basically a confliction with the save data from the early access. So I went through the Nautiloid section about 4 or 5 times trying to make sure it worked.
Oh god.
And I kid you not, listener, I was laughing to myself thinking that our podcast is called Straight Out of Avernus because I couldn't get the fuck out of there.
That is hilarious.
I was stuck on that fucking Nautiloid, and I was thinking, this cannot be. I cannot be stuck here. This can't be a one playthrough, a one and done playthrough.
Wow, that's annoying, especially because it's like the one thing we've done over and over and over, and you want to get out of it.
Oh yeah, I know,
I will say
I know.
they changed it up slightly.
It was nice to have a little bit of a streamlining of that process.
Yeah, they did change up the Nautiloid section slightly, which I quite liked. They basically give you a different area to fight some imps as to where you normally do, and they removed an entire section with the cutscenes with the dragons, which I thought was an interesting choice.
It worked for me because I didn't have to fucking crawl around that ship.
Can I say as well? I don't know if this was in early access or if they've updated it for this. But you know the doors on the Nautiloid that you go through?
Yeah.
Now in my homebrew game, I had a crashed Nautiloid in my game. And you guys were going through there, and I described the doors as sphincters.
Yep.
Because that's what they look like. And everyone was like, sphincters, ha ha ha, funny, funny, funny. They're called sphincters in Baldur's Gate 3.
Damn right they are. I saw that too.
vindication.
I mean, yeah. If they are one thing, it's a sphincter.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else has really been catching your eye? What else is
Something
what else is
that
on the kind of
caught my eye is Karlach.
You're a man of culture and taste.
She actually referred to herself as Mama K in a dialogue.
Did
I had
she?
her, yeah.
She's so cool.
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, don't worry, come to Mama K."
My favorite thing is where you put her into stealth mode. Her stealth dialogue's really funny.
Yeah.
She called herself I'm Shadowland.
Yeah. She's hilarious.
She's a nice change of pace from the rest of the companions who are all pretty serious.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's speak about companions for a little bit, I suppose.
Oh, I will say one more thing about Karlach
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
we move on. First combat I got her into, she died.
Died.
I've had quite a few in early access. I managed to kind of get through without anyone dying. She's died. Shadowheart's died twice.
Mm-hmm.
My character's died.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of death. I've had to do I came back to my camp and I'd left Shadowheart there. I came back and she was dead.
How did that happen?
I don't know. She was just in a pool of blood in front of her little tent. I was like, oh, what a fuck.
I also think in early access you got a lot of Revivify scrolls. I don't think you get as much now.
I think you can get at least 2.
I used
per person.
Okay, I don't know what happened to mine because my character died and I used one to get him back. When I was in the forge, Lizelle got shoved into lava and died instantly. And then I couldn't get her out of the lava because I didn't have a Revivify scroll.
Oh shit!
So I had to. I mean, my options were to go back to camp and pay Withers 100 gold to revive someone or whatever it is, 200 gold.
That's fair enough.
But I didn't. I just F8'd the fight and did it again.
Oh jeez. I had a story because I'm a little bit of I've got problems and I need to loot everything, or I'm looting everything I can. I loot after a combat. I loot everything, all the bodies. I try and avoid pushing people into bottomless pits because I kind of want to get their loot.
I want their loot. Yeah.
So when I played that section in the early access, the villain thunder waved some NPCs into the lava, and I was like, how do I get their loot? So I had a pretty ingenious method. I actually managed to get Lizelle into the lava, and I managed to get her to get the loot and get out again.
You go into like turn-based mode, and you can do it that way.
Yes, went into turn-based mode, shoved her, pumped her up full of fire-resistant potions, had Shadowheart and my character healing her with healing words, chucking potions at her, and she did it. So it can be done. But lava is savage.
The lava's a dick. Yeah.
But yeah, I've really been enjoying I think I said earlier, the way that it seems to flow a lot. Not naturally, a lot naturally. I guess that's not a word, but fuck
more
it.
More naturally.
Yeah, that works. You should write that one down, Andrew. Because things as I got into romance with Shadowheart quite early on.
Same.
I triggered the kind of waterfall. I think we're in spoiler territory now a little bit, folks.
I think early access. I think it's free reign.
Okay, early access free reign. For it. Okay, so I managed to get into kind of the romance scene with Shadowheart, kind of early on. So we started to build a relationship, and then we got to the blight. This is before we even got to the blighted village.
Oh wow, yeah.
So we got to the blighted village, and then she triggered the whole Shar thing triggered, and she confessed that she was a worshipper of Shar. And now I was in this situation where I felt like I had a loved one trying to explain to me they were in a cult. So I felt like I'd already kind of established this relationship with her, and I knew that she's a Shar cultist, but it was more like I felt different about it because obviously we'd established this bond, and then she started telling me all these kind of secrets about herself, and it was kind of like, I'm not ready for these secrets, Shadowheart. But the icing on the cake was that I had kind of I've kind of been stuck with a Quasit that I've summoned. I don't know if I can get rid of it or not. So like Shadowheart had this really tender moment, and there's just this fucking closet
In the background.
over yeah, just behind her, just like
Yeah, sometimes
So, yeah,
NPCs can get in the way of cutscenes where they're walking about behind
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
it's quite funny.
Um,
But yeah, what are you gonna say?
yeah.
Shadowheart.
Let's speak about Shadowheart for a minute. She did confide in me quite early on. I found.
Okay.
And there was I'm assuming you've had the little extra scene where she does reveal in a cutscene her past,
Her flashback.
her flashback,
Yeah.
which I did not expect. I didn't expect flashbacks,
Yeah, that was interesting.
which is very interesting. And I think I did message you at one point, being like, "Oh, Shadowheart's got a new feature. She's scared of wolves."
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That you found that naturally.
And
Yeah.
then I got that cutscene where she's
And it made sense.
a child being attacked by wolves, and the Sharan priestesses save her. And she kind of does say that's like the last thing she really remembers until
I think
kind of
it's all-
recently.
I think it's all bullshit.
I think she's full of shit.
Yeah, I think it's so. Didn't you say that you noticed that she was frightened standing next to a wolf?
Yes, I can't remember which wolf it was, but someone had a wolf. Was it? And I think it was
There's
in
wolves in
Druid
the
Grove. It was in Druid Grove. That's where it was. I was in there, and
She had the
she
frightened
had the
condition.
frightened condition, and I was like, "What is this? Why is she scared?" And
That's
I went
nice.
onto it. If you press T when you're on something, you can it keeps that bar, and you can go onto it and hover over it and see what it does. And it said, "Yeah, she's scared of wolves. She has to do a wisdom save to not be frightened of wolves when she gets near them."
Wow, that's such a great detail. That's a very D&D thing that you'd have a player that's
Yeah,
like I've got a player that my character in your game is scared of spiders.
yeah,
It's not really come up much, but if it does come
Not
up,
yet.
I have to lean into it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
something I'd lean into. So the fact that even those details makes me wonder what secrets other characters have
Yeah.
that are going to be revealed through kind of natural storytelling like that.
So that's the thing about Shadowheart. I haven't had much more new interactions with Astarion.
No, I'm kind of. I mean, I think I'm with Astarion. We're kind of on a kind of a seesaw almost. It's like it's never really one way or the other. We're okay.
Yeah. So there's not much more really to say on Astarion because I've not seen anything new with him yet.
Not yet.
Um,
I'm kind of going through the kind of traditional Gale path.
Yeah, well, I think Gale's done
I'm-
a lot more with me. Actually,
Yes,
yeah.
I have to say that though I'd have to give this game 0 out of 10 because they changed his Ceramorphosis
They did.
dialogue
I
line.
noticed that. It used to be Ceramorphosis. They
Yeah, it was
changed
such a great
It's
delivery.
just more of a Ceramorphosis to be avoided.
Yeah, I was so disappointed.
Oh man, that hit me. That did when he said
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh, I loved the way he said it before.
But Gale's kind of got this kind of drug addict vibe now. He like comes at you with like, I need this now. I need it. I need
Yeah,
it.
he wasn't that needy
And
before.
It's like fuck off, Gale. Fuck off with your habit.
I sent like a screenshot of a text conversation I was having with my wife to
it was
our
great.
group. I'll read it. We know Gale. We love Gale. He's great, but he's got a bit of a needy drug addiction. Again, my wife sent me this text. She was like, "So I just bought a rare quarterstaff for Kendall. That's her character, and now Gale wants to fucking consume it. Can I just kill him? This is too much." And I sent that to our group, being like, "Oh my god, she's psychotic." And I said to her, I was like, he doesn't have to just take rare items. He can take some green ones. It will say on them if he can consume them. And she was like, all I have is my new staff. I sold the bloody gloves. Thank fuck some little girl gave me her necklace so he can have that. And then I said, oh, he'll do that a lot. You can just hoard items he can absorb. And she went, or just kill him. And then I said, he'll explode. And then she said, why is that bad? Oh man,
Just let her do it.
it's great seeing this from the eyes of
fuck
someone
around
who's
find out.
not played it before.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I do have this kind of like I've seen all this. I can't wait to get to new content, which is great because things like Karlak have brought in a new vibe to it, and obviously all the complete dialogue and the complete cutscenes and more items and it's just I'm I don't think I've had this much fun playing a video game in
Yeah.
a long time.
A little bit more on Gale. You do get a lot more interaction with him than you got in early access.
Mm.
A lot more Mistra backstory he tells you about. He opens up quite a bit with that. And then I remember him telling me about the that wizard who tried to access magic that was so powerful and tried to become a god.
His name's Karthus.
Yes, Carsus, yeah. And I remember
the Netherese wizard.
when Gale was telling me that, I was like, I've heard this before. And I was thinking back, and I was like, Drew's told me this. Drew's told me this story. This is pre-existing lore that exists.
Yeah, Karthus is fallen.
Back when, 10th level, 11th level magic existed. And
Karthus did a whoopsie.
He did a whoopsie and destroyed magic.
It's awesome. It's such a cool bit of lore.
And then, Mistra,
and it's all feeding into this.
Mistra came back in her form, reintroduced magic to the world, but capped it. She was like, enough of this.
9th
level is all you get. No more.
No more.
Yeah, and Gale's
fucking idiots.
Gale's done.
You spoiled it. You spoiled magic.
Yeah, Gale did he did a 1% of what Karsus tried to do, and he has fucked it up so badly.
We could talk about a lot of the other companions and go into a bit more depth.
Good.
But I think there's a lot more to explore. But I think Will is definitely. He's a different character. He's a completely different character.
And he's all the better for it.
I mean, I think I sent you a message at one point being like, fucking hell. What's happened to Will?
Yeah, he's so much more interesting. Just getting that interaction with him and his patron. What's her name? Minora?
Minthara.
No, Minthara.
No. Oh no. What's her name?
Minora? Minora. Let's go with Minora.
I can't remember her name, but the succubus lady, yeah.
Yeah, and she's really interesting as well.
Yeah,
so,
she was wild to deal with.
I think this one I will maybe preface with spoilers, so maybe jump ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this.
Just do that.
Will, and he wants to kill Karlach, and if you can convince them to make peace, Minora shows up, wherever her name is, and basically turns him into a devil.
Yeah, it's savage.
Because she's like, you're meant to kill her, you didn't, here's your punishment.
Oh, it's such a war.
Yeah.
It's like, I've not seen Warlock stuff dealt with that way before, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's that way of, I think we'll, spoiler free kind of now, but it's that way of dealing with a Warlock breaking their pact without removing their class abilities. It's like, give them a role play.
He looks so fucked.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's great. Everything about that's amazing. And I took him with me this time to kill all the goblin enemy people.
Yep.
Which
he's still not very good.
Great. No, he's still not mechanically great.
Maybe in a couple levels time once he's a bit more
I went Pact of the Blade, and I keep forgetting Pact of the Blade. You have to activate it every day.
Yeah, I keep doing this as well.
I keep forgetting to activate it, and so his attacks are just useless.
I think if you bind the weapon, maybe that has something to do with it.
I don't know. I can't figure. I wish it was just a feature that's just passive the whole time. But you have to remember to do it every day.
I keep getting into combat and then being like, oh, he's not got his weapon.
Yeah.
Fuck, shit.
The Will is, from a story point of view, a lot more interesting. Still, I think mechanically, not great, which is weird because Warlocks should be great. And I don't get, maybe I'm just playing them wrong. I guess lastly would be Lizelle. I think we covered everyone else. She, again, not much has changed from early access. In Act 1, Bazel. In Act 1, she's still a bit of a bitch. You can get her to open up a little bit.
I mean, she is horny for me. She's come on to me hard, and I've had to reject her.
She did not come on to me. Well, she did, but then she was like, "But your bunk will be too full tonight because you're in love with Shadowheart." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." But no, she gets a lot of development at the very end of Act 1 before you go to Act 2.
Ooh.
Because when you take the mountain pass, you can go to the creche.
That's where all the Gith are.
Yeah, and that's kind of all I'm going to say on that because I know you're not there yet.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that after I go down and explore the Underdark.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal. It's some of the best storytelling I think the game has done so far. When you get there, it's amazing. It makes Lizelle a much more interesting character. It's great.
I'm really excited. I think I could talk about this a lot more, but I just need to play it more.
Yeah.
I need more time.
Mm-hmm. I will say as well with the Crash, one of our friends, Sam, who we've mentioned, he's been playing it as well.
Patron of the podcast.
Yeah, he's been playing it as well, and we've been talking about the Crash stuff. And he made a choice that I didn't make. I don't think he did it intentionally, but I'll just say he really fucked up.
Oh no!
Yeah. It's so funny. We'll speak about it when you get there.
That's the thing. Once I get out of early access, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I kind of know the permutations enough or well enough to kind of make choices that I think I'd like, and make them happen. But I think once it gets to a certain point, I don't know where it's going to go. So it's going to be.
I found when I was playing through the stuff that I've already done in early access, I was save scumming a lot more because I was wanting to get the outcome I wanted, because I want to get the outcome I know I could get. But since I've moved on from that, I've been save scumming a lot less, and I've been relying on what the dice want the story to be.
Where they take you.
Especially with the Crash stuff, because I got there, I did something, I was looking at my F5, and then I played for like another 2 hours, and I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of development. I'm not going back to where I saved back then.
Oh, it's so crazy. What a bizarre game.
Because I very easily could have wiped those 2 hours, gone back and made a different choice and had a different experience, but I was like, no, I'm not, because I can't not experience this now. I do have one more thing I wanted to ask you that kind of relates to early access. We have had a listener question.
Okay.
Which I think is actually is a very good question.
Go on then. Come on, let's hear it.
I don't know if he wants to remain anonymous, so I won't give out the full username, but this comes from Sean.
Hey Sean.
Who is a listener, an avid listener.
Hey listener. This is weird.
Yeah, I know.
I'm responding to a listener comment.
It's so weird. So yes, he has asked, in your opinion, what system, user interface element, rule, character, or skill benefited the most from early access? So basically, what has been done in early access that they've now kind of, I guess, changed, updated, made better in release?
Finished.
Now that it's out and it's done, what do you think?
Inventory management. You can multi-select and move. It's so much smoother and a little bit faster. Yeah,
you get a key ring. Pretty much every food you pick up goes straight into your food supply.
My OCD is sated.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. Thanks, Sean.
That's a question. I think my answer would have to be the way that they've overhauled reactions.
Sometimes when I have Karlach attacking and Gale's nearby, because I've went for Divination Wizard with Gale.
Yeah, same. So have I.
She attacks. A prompt comes up saying she didn't hit it. Do you want to use Reckless?
Yes.
You use that, and then it goes, oh, but she didn't hit high enough. Do you want to use Gale's Portent? So it basically just it starts triggering. Reactions. It's very much like D&D gets like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's like a D&D game, which I love. I think people, especially a few years ago, when people were talking about the reactions and how they should implement them, some people were like, oh, I think it'll interrupt the flow of the game. And I'm like, I don't think it does. Because those are, especially with the Divination Wizard thing, those are the decisions you want to make at the table there and then.
Exactly.
And you will have that, oh, hold on, I'll use my portent so they can take a 15.
I see a lot of people complaining the fact that it's a turn-based combat game when the original Baldur's Gates weren't. So they're like, it's not a true sequel because... But it needs to be turn-based.
Yeah, it does.
To work.
Especially if they're going to implement 5e.
Yeah, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think I like being able to just really focus in on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Weigh up all my choices, weigh up all my options. That's the game it is. It's all about choice. So in those moments, it's nice to have choice.
Yeah, so choose to go. You get the choice as a reaction given to you. Do you want to go reckless because you've missed? Do you want to use your portent because you've missed? You've not saved, or your enemies saved. Do you want to make them not save? Do you want to smite? Do you want to use sneak attack here? Do you want to cast shield? It works so well.
It's great.
And I think so. That'd be my answer. The reaction system.
Yeah, I think so. I think I need to. I think I need to think about it a bit more. But just the characters feel more rounded. They feel wholer from early access,
Hmm.
and I think that's a big part of just playing through that experience. And like we were talking about, Will is completely
Yeah.
different, and I think that's because in early access he didn't work, and people weren't satisfied with him. You know, so the fact that early access happened, Larian were able to pivot and change.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So thank you, Sean, for your question.
Thanks,
Very much
Sean.
appreciated. And I would love to hear more listener questions or queries, and maybe we can pick our favorite and do one every episode if we get enough.
If we get enough, yeah. So, well, I mean, Andrew, I hear there's literally dozens of people that listen to this podcast.
There's literally
Dozens.
dozens of you. So, since our last episode, we had about 80 something, 90 something followers on Spotify,
Which is more than I thought we'd get.
so
to be
much
honest.
more than I expected we get. In the interim, since we've had our last episode, we have crossed 200.
I mean, you've seen PewDiePie's subscribers. he's in the millions, but 200 to me that's
amazing. That's so good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's 200 people that have bothered to click that follow button and have been like, yeah, I like what these guys are saying enough that I want to be notified of when they have another episode out.
And the audio in our first couple of episodes is awful.
Terrible. I'm hoping this one's good because I've tweaked some settings, but you'll never know until I go into the edit.
Yeah, I know, eh? But yeah, thanks
So, yeah,
everybody. Thanks
thank you for that. It's great.
It means a lot to us.
It does, absolutely. Yeah, we've done listener questions. We've done follower update.
I want to end this fucking call so I can go and play half an hour of Baldur's Gate before I have to go to bed. But do our socials, Andrew, and then we can get out of here.
Yes, absolutely. So our socials, we are straight out of Avernus. That's Outa, Outta, on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify. We're on Amazon Music now. We're on Google Podcasts now.
Oh my god,
We're everywhere.
we're forming an
We
empire.
are spreading, much like the absolutes, with influence and wisdom.
Yes, yeah.
We are also straight out of Avernus bg3@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. But it'd probably be easier to get in touch with YouTube comments, Instagram, TikTok DMs, however you want to do that.
And we are going to stream.
We are going to stream. We are
one
We are
day.
straight out of Avernus on Twitch as well, and eventually, I've not been streaming my solo playthrough, but when we play together, we will be on straight out of Avernus on Twitch.
And we'll try and give a heads up somehow. I don't know how we'll do
I
that.
don't know how we're going to do that.
Uh,
Watch this space.
Just keep your ears to the ground, people.
Yeah.
We'll send the word.
So yeah, I think that's it. I'm a bit. My mind is just. I'm out of it.
Why is that?
I'm tired. I've played too much games, and I'm just about to finish this call and go play more.
Just go lie down. Go lie
I
down.
don't want to. I need to.
Hey,
My body's telling me I need to, and my mind is just like Baldur's Gate. I go to sleep thinking about Baldur's Gate. Drew.
My mind is telling me no.
Oh yeah.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone.
But go away now because I want to play video games.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.